This is a pretty important month, the month of October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So many people, me included, have had family members, close friends impacted due to breast cancer. The numbers are staggering. Do you realize that today, 86 women in Canada will be told that they have breast cancer? 86 women today. It's a form of cancer that affects thousands of people, families, communities in Canada every year, which is why so many efforts go out to try and raise awareness raise funds for breast cancer research, early detection, all of those important pieces of this discussion. I'm so proud of the group at C95, our sister station in Saskatoon. The C95 Radio Marathon for Breast Cancer Research is happening tomorrow. This has been going on for this is the 25th year. 25 years, $6.3 million raised as a result. Wow. It is absolutely remarkable. And the reason that it's remarkable is because we have people in this province, people in the city of Saskatoon, in the province, that generously give, donate, tell their story, be part of fundraising, be part of communication and awareness campaigns that help drive home the importance of supporting those who have breast cancer, have been affected or have a journey with breast cancer, and doing things to make it better for the future. And my next guest is an example of that as well. Tirzah Forbes is a breast cancer survivor, a photographer. In fact, you might know her if you're on Instagram. Tirzah May Photography is her company name. And I'm very happy to have her joining me by phone this morning. Tirzah, thank you so much for taking our call.
Thank you so much for having me, Evan. It's really an honor to just talk about this and share my story and bring awareness. So thank you for having me.
You know, I just watched a video. You've got so many great pieces of communication through your social media sites, and on Instagram this morning watched a video of your journey with breast cancer. Can we start there, Tirzah? Tell us a little bit. You're a breast cancer survivor. What did your health journey look like?
Yeah, I was diagnosed in 2022. I was just 36 years old. I was healthy. I had found a lump in my breast, and I went for an ultrasound, and it was deemed benign. So I just carried on with life and didn't worry about it. But then it grew overnight, like so much, where it was kind of protruding out of my skin. So I went in for another ultrasound and found out that it was breast cancer. It was just shocking. I had 2 kids who were both in school at the time, and I was about to kind of just start my life with my fiance at the time. And, you know, you just never really think that it's going to happen to you. I was working for a breast cancer reconstruction surgeon, and so a lot of our patients were breast cancer patients. So I was really familiar with breast cancer itself, and I just I didn't think it was going to happen to me.
Which is, I think we hear so many times from people who are breast cancer survivors like yourself. You, in your social media communication, because you really did use your platform to help people follow your journey, and you showed clearly the good and the bad. There's videos with tears, there's videos of smiles and friends, family supporting you. Why is it important to you to show that entire journey as you try and educate and help people understand this challenge?
You know, I think for me, when I was diagnosed, like I said, I was 36, and the first thing I did was I kind of went online and I tried to look for people who I could relate to, because I think there's this misconception that breast cancer only happens to people in their late age, or, you know, it's something your grandma gets, whereas realistically now it's so common. 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer every year, and it's women that are in their 20s and 30s. So for me, I was searching for women that I could relate to, and I couldn't find a lot. So I started sharing my own story, and in doing that, I had so many young women reach out to me through social media, and it kept me kind of going, because they were so grateful that I was so open and vulnerable about the hard times. You know, it's not all pink and sunshine. It is really hard moments that you go through that you shouldn't have to go through at such a young age.
I can only imagine how empowering that was, Tirzah, to get that kind of feedback from people.
It was, and I was really shocked because I found so many women were either too kind of embarrassed to share their own story, or they just weren't comfortable enough to even tell people they work with. So I think it's something that we do need to really share and talk about because it is so common. So it really helped me kind of get through chemo and surgery, knowing that I was helping other women as well.
You know, Tirzah, we're chatting with Tirzah Forbes, breast cancer survivor, photographer, beautiful photographer. We'll get into some of the work that you have done and are continuing to do to support this incredible discussion and cause. But before that, I want to go to a post that you have online with some pretty sobering stats establishing in 2024, 30,500 Canadian women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. That's these numbers that you've got here. 5,500 Canadian women will die from breast cancer, representing 13% of all cancer deaths in women in 2024. Man, these stats are so sobering.
Yeah, it is the number one cancer in the world besides skin cancer. So it's the most common breast cancer is the most common type of cancer for women, and it's worldwide. It is just increasing every year. And, you know, I've come to make some lifelong friends because of the breast cancer community, but it's heartbreaking because even only being a survivor of 2 years, I've already watched a few people pass. And it just is so heart-wrenching. So I definitely want to get that message out there, and social media has been such a great platform for that.
Thank you for being so open and sharing your journey, not just with us here this morning, but through social media. How did your experience with breast cancer change your life?
Oh, it changed it in every way. I have a completely different perspective on life, and I'm definitely not the same person I was prior to getting breast cancer. I think it just really made me appreciate the small things and be more present and just really, really be grateful every single day for even just being here. So it definitely changed me in so many ways.
I want to talk a little bit about your work as a photographer while I've got you here. And the Instagram site is at Tirzah May. I was on there this morning. So how did you get into photography, and talk about how you're using your experience and your journey with breast cancer into the work that you're doing now?
Yeah, I started my photography business on the side back in 2021 while I was still working full-time for my doctor at the time. And now, after cancer, I decided to just do photography full-time. I started actually thinking about this passion project of mine while I was in chemo. So I would go to chemo, and I would think about all the ways I wanted to kind of bring awareness and give back. So I started my first breast cancer photo shoot was last year, and I selected 8 women who were survivors from Saskatchewan, and I did a group photo shoot with these 8 women. And I chose 8 just because of the stats that 1 in 8 will get breast cancer every year. So it started off with this small group of 8 women, and this year it was with C95. I was fortunate enough to partner up with them in celebrating with their 25th annual radio marathon. So by honoring 25 breast cancer survivors, we did in the group photo shoot. But this project of mine started so long ago because I wanted to find something that I could do to give back, but also just make these survivors feel empowered again and just remind them of, you know, they're not alone and this community is so big. So it really just makes me feel good to do this for these other survivors and bring these women together. I can
only imagine. Where can people see the photographs?
So the photographs are on my site. It's at Tirzah May Photography, but it's also on C95 social media as well. We've just been sharing all the images, and they're just going to be kind of spread out throughout the month of October. But they can be found at Tirzah May Photo and then at C95 as well.
Good. And I know I'm actually talking with Terry Peters, who is one of the women that you featured through the work you're doing and has been part of this journey as well. So thank you, Tirzah. This has been outstanding. I appreciate you being willing to be, number one, so open and sharing with us. And thank you so much for the work that you continue to do for our community, our province, and all those who have journeys with breast cancer. You're a great advocate. You're a great leader, and we appreciate having you on the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm just grateful to be a part of something that's making a difference. So thank you for having me.
Tirzah Forbes is my guest, breast cancer survivor, photographer, and you will be able to see some of her great work if you go onto her website. I mentioned Instagram at Tirzah May. Tirzah, by the way, is spelled Tirzah. May, M-A-Y. So Tirzah May, or go on to the C95 socials and you can see some of her great work that she's doing with breast cancer survivors there, all because this is October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that big C95 Radio Marathon for breast cancer research is happening tomorrow. I'm excited to be down there in the afternoon. I'll join them on the air, and we will continue to raise great amounts of money for breast cancer research in this province. You're listening to 980 CJME and 650 CKOM.